In this tutorial, I'm going to go over the Windows tab, which is essentially a place that allows you to see which window boxes will be open on this right-hand side. The default windows are usually all you need, but I'm also going to have you open the styles, and the way you do it is you just click to the left, and if it has an arrow, you have to pick one of the styles or one of the boxes you want open. So I'm going to have you go ahead and open Object Styles. Okay, and you can drag it over there. And I would like you to also open Window and Paragraph Styles. Those are the two that I use most often, but any of these windows that you find yourself using on a regular basis, maybe this gradient tool, you can have those open on the right hand side, and you can arrange these however you like. If you want to put the ones you use the most at the top, feel free to do that, and if at any time you want to see it over here, then you can make it a little bit bigger. And whenever you're ready to work on one of them, what you're going to do is simply click on it. So I'm just going to go through these and explain to you how they're used and when you use them. Stroke and color, we've already talked about this. There are more options in this toolbar, but it is the same thing as clicking right here and changing the thickness over here. The only thing that's different is you can change the end. What does it look like? You can change the joint if you have, say, a box, the point where they intersect. You can also change the end to an arrow or a bar, whatever you'd like. The color, we've talked about that. The color helps you change whatever colors you need. Usually you'll want to do it in CMYK. You can also do it in RGB if you would like to. That's just going to have 3 bars here to change. And same as your bottom left-hand bar, simply clicking will change what is being edited, either the fill or the outline. Your character box is your type and font. We'll go over what you can do with this box a little more later in a different tutorial, but it gives you all the different text options. And also, same with the stroke, all of those options, or most of those options, are usually up in this upper left-hand corner as well anytime you click on a text box. Swatches, these are things that you will use. Even in your first tutorial we will use them. It's just a way of saving a color so that you can come and select it quickly as opposed to having to change it every time in the color tab. Align tool, this is crucial to having good design. This align tool allows you to align objects, and if you are using this for editorial purposes, aligning things is important to making it easier for the reader to view your page. Your Pathfinders tool is something you would be a lot more likely to use in Illustrator. I highly doubt any of you will be using the Pathfinder in InDesign, but you will learn how to use Pathfinder later on in your Illustrator tutorials. Transform is what it sounds like. If you have a box or an object and you would like to transform it, you can do it this way by actually typing in the actual size, or you can just transform it by using your black arrow and moving those keys. But if you want to be more precise and give it an exact size, you can do that. I'm going to show you how to do something that's not related to these tabs, but I keep seeing it pop up every time I've had something. It's in a very strange unit. Well, the reason being, right now my rulers are in picas instead of inches. So if you have a weird measurement on your document, what you can do is right click on the rulers and you can change them. You have to do it for the top and the bottom. You can change it to inches. Alright, so back to these tabs. Paragraph, just like in any Microsoft program, this is helps with the layout of your text. Do you want it to be centered, right, left? You can do justified, so it looks similar to a newspaper column where both the left and the right edge are completely straight. Use your tabs is what this is. It's the tab for the first line, the tab for the whole column. You can tab the left line. And if you look right there, you can see it'll allow you to make a tab. Let's say you want to make the first letter a big letter, like they often do in books or magazines. And for me, the most important object in the paragraph button is this hyphenate. Hyphens are not found in most publications, so you always want to uncheck the hyphenate button. Pages, which should probably be at the top for you. Pages are what are used when you're doing a larger layout with multiple pages. Those pages, if you had several in your document, so let's say we inserted, let's put in 5 new pages. This Pages tab allows you to navigate between those pages. When I double click on it, it takes me to that page in my document. There's also an option in here to make a master page. This master page gives me the freedom to place something. Let's just say we wanted to put a number, page number. If I place a box there to have a page number in every page, what it does is when I go to page 1, page 2, page 3, they all appear there. So this master page tab gives you the ability to make something appear on every page you add. You won't need that for this particular tutorial because you only have one page. Your layers tool is not crucial in this particular program. When we get into Photoshop and even maybe a little in Illustrator, you will have to have very, very clear layer management. But in InDesign, unless you're making something extremely complex, you most likely will not need to worry too much about layers. Links are important for pictures. Any pictures you place will be considered links. As I've said before, Adobe does not embed your picture. It simply references that picture. So if you find that you open a document and it says missing links, you will be able to locate the name of that document right over here. I'm going to go ahead and place a picture really quickly just so you can see what those links look like, if they are there or if they're missing. This is just one of the pictures I was going to use. Okay, so you'll notice when I've placed that picture in there and I go to my links tab, it gives me this link for the picture. It tells me the format it's in, it tells me where I placed it, tells me the type of color. And if for any reason it got unlinked, I could double click on it. I can see where that is located within the document. With just one page, it's probably fairly obvious where it is, but when you have multiple pages and maybe 20 or 30 links over here, sometimes you might not know where that is. So if you double click on it, it takes you to that link. You can also, when it's a broken link, double click on it and it will help you try to find it, and you can go browse through your files to relink it. Gradient tool is exactly what it sounds like. If you have a gradient on an object and you want to edit it, that is where it would be done. So I would say add a gradient to this box. This is where I can edit it. I can pull that back and forth. You can change the colors here. Okay, if I click on the white and I go up to my color tab, then I can change the colors in my gradient. Okay, you can also change it to be a radial gradient if you would prefer. That is your gradient tab. Alright, the last tab I want to show you is this object styles, character styles, and paragraph styles. What it does is basically allow you to make one object and then apply the settings for that object to several other objects that you create later. Same thing for font. Let's say you create a title font and you want to reuse it on every single page you create. You can create a paragraph style and a character style. So I'm just going to give this an effect of a drop shadow. We'll go over this in a few minutes in our next tutorial. But let's say I want all of the boxes, any box I add or any picture I add, I want it to appear similar to that. Okay, so I've got a green box and I have this one. What I would do is I would go to that box and I would come over here to object styles, and I'm going to create new. Okay, so that's my new object style. If I click on it twice, I can rename it. We could say maybe photo frame. Maybe I want all my photos to be framed. Click on any objects I create after that point, and instead of having to remember what was the thickness of that outline or what was the shadow that I put on it, I just go over and hit photo frame, and it'll change that box. It's similar to the dropper, but it allows you to select a lot of things at one time and then change the photo frame. It allows you to type in the box. Let's say you've edited it, you change the size and the type, and you want to make sure you can recreate that. Okay, so now I can make a new one. Anytime you see this little square with an upturned corner, that means new. I have my new paragraph style, and I might name it my name so that I know it's one that I like. If I come over here to this box and I type new information, I have all of that in there. What I can do is I can either highlight the text and select the Mandy tab, which will give it the same look. Okay, or you can go to the black arrow and select the box entirely, and then you can change it to the Mandy tab. So those are your right hand tabs. They're fairly simple to understand because they are labeled exactly what they are for. But the